So let's start from the beginning. What is it that is bothering you? And in your own words, explain to us what are the symptoms and bothersome issues that you faced.
So, you like you said, it's been a long journey. It's always been constipation, and kind of, I've had to kind of go back to childhood, talk to my parents, stuff like that. Because I can't recall my childhood that well, but there's bits and pieces there. But I was obese, 270 pounds, and I always correlated my constipation with my eating habits and my weight. And when I got my weight under control, I quickly realized that it's not my weight. Um, it's other things that I don't know. And just being in aerospace for so long, I know how critical it is to get the right people involved to solve a problem and stuff like that. So just my main thing is, my numbers weren't that good when I was, overweight. Now, my numbers are just, blood pressure, my, everything, my glucose level, just triglycerides, everything. I do a wellness assessment every year, and ever since I got my weight better, I pretty much hit all the marks, like right on the money. But the only issue is, just slow motility, and it causes obviously I don't have really bowel movements for, I mean, common is 4 days, sometimes even 7 days where I'm calling my GI doctor on the phone, what do I do? Um, Everything else, I mean, is great. I have no complaints. If I can only fix this one issue, I'll be very happy. The one reason why I started this journey was for my daughter. I know if having that kind of condition, it's not helping longevity. So
Mhm.
that's my main thing is I just want to do the best that I can to be around for my daughter.
So, from a bowel perspective, you said already that you were having irregular bowel movements every 4 to 7 days, and then do you get a spontaneous urge to go on those 4 5 days, or do you have to take something to initiate a bowel movement?
And sometimes it's spontaneous, and then the other thing is it's about on average once a month. It's like my constipation gets so bad where I get into a nausea spell, and then it can last all day, like 10 hours.
Mm.
Where my mom even sometimes has to pick me up and take me to like a urgent care or something like that where they have to put a shot in my butt and put me on an IV drip and stuff like that. Sometimes during those episodes, I'll just go and defecate like it literally looks like weeks. I mean, there's a lot of defecation that just happens all at once and I don't understand it.
So you've stored a lot of the stool, and then suddenly, after something, it all
It,
it
it
all comes out.
yeah, it's like some kind of switch gets turned on. It's like, all right, we're gonna purge now. And then I'll defecate a lot. Sometimes it happens during the nausea spell, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes happens completely different times.
And do you have any difficulty passing stool? How long do you actually spend on the toilet?
For my surgery, so I did have rectal prolapse, and before my surgery, that was my biggest, that's I would say that my doctor told me, he said, I can't guarantee that this is going to fix the constipation issues. And I also did at Best Doctors. I've thrown so many resources at all that this whole problem. I'm really happy to be here now, but I've thrown a lot of resources at it, and we knew that the surgery would be a 50-50 on my constipation. But before the surgery, I would take easily 30 minutes or even longer on the toilet, and it didn't make any sense to me. I didn't know what rectal prolapse was until, I went, well, my GI doctor, sent me to the colorectal surgeon, and then that's when I found he told me to go sit on the toilet, act like I'm having a bowel movement, so I did, and he told me I had, rectal prolapse. I didn't even know what it was. I even witnessed it a second time before we even had the surgery. So after the surgery now, I mean, literally whenever I have that urge and that bowel move or have the urge to have a bowel movement, it's 7 minutes on average, sometimes less, sometimes maybe a little bit more. It's pretty quick.
Right. So the only other symptom that we didn't talk about is your bloating. So tell me a little bit about this bloating.
The bloating doesn't seem to be that bad. I mean, after I eat, drink, and stuff like that, sometimes I'll maybe mild bloating and stuff like that, but not all that bad. I would say more what's severe is I just have a lot of gas and stuff like that. Sometimes, I mean, I'm just like blown away at the amount of gas that I have. I'm like, if I had that gas as my motility, I'd be perfectly fine, it seems like.